2011-12 NCAA Football Bowl Games. The 2011-12 NCAA Football Bowl Games were a series of college football bowl games. They concluded the 2011 NCAA Division I FBS football season and included 35 team competitive games and 5 All-Star games. The games began on December 17, 2011 and, aside from the All-Star games, concluded with the 2012 BCS National Championship Game in New Orleans that was played on January 9, 2012. A total of 35 team competitive bowls was unchanged from the previous year. While bowl games had been the purview of only the very best teams for nearly a century, this was the 6th consecutive year that teams with non-winning seasons participated in bowl games. To fill the 70 available team competitive bowl slots, a total of 14 teams, 20% of all participants with non-winning seasons, participated in bowl games. 13 had a 506-6 season, and for the first time ever, a team with a sub-506-7 season was invited to a bowl game. Selection of the teams. In the previous year's bowl cycle, the NCAA scrapped a bylaw which mandated that a school with a non-losing record of 6-6 in regular season play were not eligible unless conferences could not fill out available bowl positions with teams with a winning record of 7 or more wins. The new rule was stretched further in this 2011-12 bowl season when a team with a losing record, the 6-7 UCLA Bruins, were invited to a bowl game. The Bruins, the Pac-12 South Division winners, finished 6-6, but the USC Trojans, 10-2, winners of the division, were barred from postseason play because of the University of Southern California athletics scandal of the mid-2000s and the resulting 2-year ban. The conference and the school applied for a waiver, which the NCAA accepted, based on their bowl eligibility after the 6th win, but having to play in an unmerited conference championship game. This interpretation of policy ultimately led to Western Kentucky with a 7-5 winning record, or Ball State with a 6-6 non-losing record, going uninvited. Eligible: SEC 8, Clemson ACC champions, Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech Coastal Division champions, North Carolina, Florida State, Virginia, Wake Forest, NC State Big East 5, Cincinnati Big East co-champions, West Virginia Big East co-champions, Rutgers, Louisville Big East co-champions, Pittsburgh Big Ten 10, Illinois, Michigan, Iowa, Penn State, Wisconsin Big Ten champions, Nebraska, Michigan State Legends Division champions, Ohio State, Northwestern, Purdue Big 12 8, Oklahoma State Big 12 champions, Kansas State, Oklahoma, Texas, Baylor, Iowa State, Texas A&M, Missouri Conference United States of America 5, Houston CUSA West Division champions, Southern Miss CUSA champions, Tulsa, SMU, Marshall Independence 2, Bayou, Notre Dame MAC 6, NIU Mid-American Conference champions, Ohio MAC East Division champions, Ball State, Toledo MAC West Division co-champions, Temple, Western Michigan Mountain West 5, Air Force, West State, TCU Mountain West champions, San Diego State, Wyoming Pac-12 7, Stanford Pac-12 North Division co-champions, Oregon Pac-12 champions, Arizona State, Washington, California, Utah, UCLA Pac-12 South Division champions 6-7, bowl eligible per waiver SEC 9, LSU SEC champions, Alabama, South Carolina, Arkansas, Georgia SEC East Division champions, Auburn, Florida, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State Sun Belt 4, Louisiana Lafayette, Arkansas State Sun Belt champions, Florida International, Western Kentucky WSC 3, Louisiana Tech WSC champions, Nevada, Utah State. Number of bowl berths available: 17. Number of teams assured of bowl eligibility: 71-72, with 6-7 UCLA becoming bowl eligible per NCAA waiver. Western Kentucky 7-5 and Ball State 6-6 were not extended invitations to bowl games. Teams unable to become bowl eligible: SEC 4, Boston College, Maryland and Duke by record, Miami FL via self-imposed sanctions, Big East 3, South Florida, Syracuse, Connecticut Big Ten 2, Indiana, Minnesota Big 12 2, Kansas, Texas Tech USA 7, UAB, Memphis, Tulane, Rice, UCF, UTEP, East Carolina Independence 2, Army and Navy MSC 7, Akron, Buffalo, Central Michigan, Bowling Green, Miami OH and Kent State. Eastern Michigan was 6-6 but had 2 FCS wins. Mountain West 3, New Mexico, UNLV and Colorado State Pac-12 5, Colorado, Oregon State, Washington State and Arizona by record, USC via and co-sanctions SEC 3, Ole Miss, Kentucky and Tennessee Sun Belt 5, Florida Atlantic, Louisiana Monroe, Middle Tennessee, Troy and North Texas WAC 5, Idaho, San Jose State, Fresno State, Hawaii and New Mexico State. Fiesta Bowl controversy. In March 2011, because of illegal campaign contributions to politicians friendly to the Fiesta Bowl Board of Directors fired Bowl CEO John Junker. The scandal threatened the Fiesta Bowl's status as a BCS game for the 2011-12 season, as the BCS said it might replace the bowl in its lineup if officials could not convince them it should remain. In May 2011, the BCS fined the Fiesta Bowl organization $1 million without removing the BCS spot. New bowl sponsors. Mainick has transferred this sponsorship from the game in Charlotte to the Houston-based game previously known as the Texas Bowl and was renamed the Mainick Orchid Bowl of Texas. Belt Department Stores assumes the title sponsorship for the North Carolina contest, renaming that game the Belt Bowl. The Idaho Potato Commission takes over as the title sponsor for the Humanitarian Bowl in Boise, Idaho, and has been renamed the famous Idaho Potato Bowl, while Montreal-based Gordon, a maker of t-shirts, underwear and socks, will begin sponsorship of the previously unsponsored New Mexico Bowl this season. All of the bowl games will have a presenting or title sponsor. Moratorium on new bowl games. The NCAA has placed a 3-year moratorium, starting with the 2011-12 bowl season, on any new bowl games. This follows the addition of 2 new games, Pinstripe Bowl, Ticket City Bowl, for the 2010-11 bowl season, bringing the total number of bowl games to 35. The expansion to 70 teams required to fill these 35 bowl games has challenged the ability to actually find enough teams with winning 7-5 or better records to fill bowl slots. Teams with non-winning 6-6 and losing 6-7 records have participated in bowl games since the expansion to 35 games. By the 2012-13 bowl season, with multiple teams ineligible due to sanctions, the NCAA was forced to anticipate the need to allow teams with even worse 5-7 losing records to fill bowl selection slots in 2012-13. Schedule. The official schedule was released June 17, 2011. Though it is traditionally the date for many bowl games to be played, none will be held on January 1 due to that date being on a Sunday in conflict with the National Football League slate of Sunday games. Subsequently, the Fiesta Bowl moved from January 5 to January 2 in its traditional spot following the Rose Bowl after the 2011 NFL lockout was settled. The Monday evening spot was held open for a possible Monday night football game. Note, all times are US, EST, UTC-5. First BCS All-Star Games. Note, the NFLPA Texas Fiesta Nation game was not played in 2012 and the NFLPA instead sponsored the NFLPA Collegiate Bowl.